Here's another video on OKTV Today YouTube channel. In this video you'll get to see 12 most badass Superman moments from Superman 1978, Man of Steel, Superman Returns and Justice League, all coming up next on this episode.
You die.
Number 12. Clark meets Lois Lane at the Daily Planet. Superman 1978. With his abilities fully evolved after 12 years, Clark dons a vibrant costume and departs the fortress to work as a reporter for the Daily Planet in Metropolis.
Hi, open this.
Oh, sure, Mr. White.
This could be.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gosh.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. White.
Lois, why don't you take Kent out?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Co-worker Lois Lane, Margot Kidder, is the object of his love interest, but she perceives him as uncultured and uncomfortable. At the Daily Planet, Clark and Lois are employed by their irascible employer, Perry White, played by Jackie Cooper. Lois is first perplexed by Clark's timidity and little social awkwardness, and she is especially surprised when a shooter holds the couple up in an obscure alleyway.
Bye, Frisky.
Number 11. A nuclear missile criminal genius. Superman 1978. A clever plot has been devised by criminal mastermind Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman, to redirect a nuclear missile test flight to the San Andreas Fault. Superman seeks to know about Luthor's gas pellet as he enters the hiding place. Since that was the only option to get a meeting with him, Luthor lets the world know that it is a lie. The first of Luthor's actual intentions with the stolen missiles is to demolish the San Andreas Fault, which will collapse California's western shoreline into the ocean and turn the region's utterly useless desert into multi-billion-dollar windfalls. The purpose of the second missile is to provide cover. No one, not even Superman, can defeat both of them, Luthor claims. Understanding that Superman cannot prevent both collisions, Luthor mocks him by revealing that the first missile is traveling in the other direction, to Hackensack, New Jersey. Although Teschmacher is appalled that her mother resides in Hackensack, Luthor disregards this and lets Superman die slowly. Superman is rescued by Teschmacher, but only if he takes care of the New Jersey missile first. Therefore, it is too late for him to prevent the second hit, which results in an enormous tremor that he struggles to halt. Number 10. Superman loses Lois Lane to earthquake. Superman 1978. A follow-up earthquake causes Lois's automobile to crash into the ground.
Hang on, kid. Safe here, son.
While Superman is occupied rescuing others, she suffocates to death as it soon fills with dirt and trash. Superman, distraught about his failure to save Lois, disregards Jor-El's caution against meddling in human history, choosing instead to recall Jonathan Kent's counsel that he must have a reason for being on Earth. To rescue Lois, he changes history by going back in time and preventing her automobile from being trapped in the aftershock. After delivering Luthor a notice to prison, Superman takes off to pursue additional escapades in the morning. Number 9. Superman turns himself in. Man of Steel 2013.
What is it you want?
In your breast pocket. Along.
I'll go.
After putting on his Kryptonian costume, Clark takes off toward Edwards Air Force Base, where he turns himself into Colonel Hardy and General Calvin Swanick's troops in exchange for Lois' release. Lois notices that the House of El Crest resembles the letter S in her conversation with Clark about his beginnings, which gives her a suggestion for a pseudonym that Clark may use. When Zod's spacecraft touches down in the midst of the desert, Feora Hual welcomes them and insists that Lois accompany them. Lois complies in spite of Hardy's objections, and Cal gives her the command key as they are being loaded into the Black Zero. Number 8. Superman collapses aboard Black Zero. Man of Steel 2013. Since the environment on Black Zero is poisonous to humans, Lois is provided with a visor to aid in her breathing. Cal, who has adapted to the atmosphere of Earth, falls, weakens, and coughs up blood. In his debilitated state, he is tied to a table and has a mental image of General Zod. After escaping the Phantom Zone and turning the Black Zero's Phantom Zone projector into a hyperdrive, Zod and his men looked for supplies and other potential survivors in abandoned Kryptonian outposts, he says. They were able to follow the old Kryptonian ship to Earth by picking up the signal it sent out once Clark activated it. Kal is given the opportunity to bring Krypton back by Zod. But Zod intends to destroy all of mankind by using Earth as the basis. Kal is not going to comply with this. After confessing to killing Jor-El, Zod departs to get the Codex. Number 7. Superman saves Lois Lane. Man of Steel 2013. The military is sent in to destroy the Black Zero, but their rockets are deflected by the gravity beam. Kal-El hands Lois, Dr. Hamilton, and Colonel Hardy a C-17 to use against the Black Zero, and they are on board. Faora boards the aircraft and removes the troops, but she is powerless to stop Hardy from piloting it into Black Zero, opening a gateway to the Phantom Zone that sweeps everyone within, including the ship, Zod's men, Hardy, Hamilton, and Faora. Superman catches Lois while in the air when she slips, saving her. Number 6. Superman vs. Zod Man of Steel 2013. He sets Lois down with Jenny, Steve, and Perry, and the two embrace. After that, Superman departs to face a furious Zod, who declares that his life's work, to defend Krypton and its inhabitants, has been stolen from him and that he will murder every human in retaliation. After that, the two engage in a terrible combat that destroys several vehicles and structures around Metropolis. Then, while the two continue to fight in equal-fought combat, Zod tears off his armor and learns to fly. They crash beneath Metropolis Central Station after their battle sends them into outer space, where Zod uses his heat vision on bystanders. After struggling with Zod and attempting to avoid his heat vision, Superman is forced to murder him by snapping his neck. Superman screams in pain, horrified by what he has done, as Lois arrives just in time to console him. Number 5. Superman saves people after insane tremors. Superman Returns 2006. The fax has barely arrived back at the Daily Planet, and Richard takes off on his little aircraft to locate Lois. When the freshly expanding landmass creates a tremor that jeopardizes the entire city, Superman tries to follow but becomes distracted. Superman is very busy preventing disasters and saving lives. He goes back out to sea as soon as it appears that the earthquakes have ended. He discovers Richard's seaplane in the precise location, along with the Vanderwerth yacht, which is impaled by a spiky growth from the new continent. Before the boat splits in two and vanishes beneath the waves, Superman saves Richard, Lois, and Jason. Superman travels to the New Krypton continent to face Luthor while the family departs. Luthor welcomes Superman, who has become weakened due to the kryptonite-filled surroundings. Before Luthor stabs Superman with a kryptonite shard he took from the meteorite's processing and sends him tumbling down a cliff to the seas below, he and his goons assault and batter Superman. Number 4. Clark Kent and Lois Lane Love Story. Justice League 2017. The 2017 American superhero movie Justice League is based on DC Comics' superhero squad, Justice League. Producer and distributed by Warner Bros. Pictures. Lois and Clark Kent are outside the Smallville house where he grew up. After being revived, he still feels overpowered, but Lois persuades him that the other heroes and all the citizens of the world depend on him. Shortly after, Martha pulls up and rushes to give Clark a hug.
He needs you.
Just got out of a wooden box? In so many ways.
Number 3. Justice League Final Showdown. Justice League 2017. The League shows up for the final showdown. Steppenwolf attempts to rip Cyborg apart while he attempts to split the boxes. At the moment when it appears like Steppenwolf would win the battle, Superman shows up and joins the League in combat. As he guides the Flash to the family trying to leave the scene, he hears the terrified shouts of the neighborhood residents and dashes off to assist them. Superman is seen hauling an entire apartment complex to safety after the Flash pulls their truck to safety. Number 2. Superman vs. Steppenwolf vs. Justice League. Justice League 2017. Cyborg has put the limb Steppenwolf tore off Superman's body back together as he returns to the power plant. The metamorphosis is halted as Superman and Cyborg work together to tear apart the boxes. Steppenwolf, furious, tries to kill them all by himself, but Superman freezes his axe with his ice breath, allowing Diana to break it with her sword. They are returned to their world, where the parademons, now weak and confused, smell Steppenwolf's dread and start tearing him to pieces.
Bothering you.
I think we can take it.
Good. Take it back. I was hurt.
Number 1. Bruce and Clark Bromance Justice League 2017. When Bruce and Clark go to the house where he grew up, they discover that Martha Kent is getting it back after it was foreclosed. Bruce informs Clark that in order to give it back to the bank that held it, he purchased it. Despite an anticipated break-even threshold of $750 million, Justice League made $661.3 million worldwide, making it a box office failure and costing Warner Bros. an estimated $60 million. If you like this video, make sure you check out OKTV Today's YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos like this. Make sure you subscribe and click on that bell so you'll get notification.
The whole